So let's talk about an example where we become energetically bonded to somebody in our life that we have an emotional contract or agreement with or an emotional bond with based on some experiences that allow us to stay stuck in the same reality. Because if we're sharing the same emotion every single day with another person and we're reaffirming that emotion on a moment-to-moment basis, if emotions are energy in motion, then our energy is the same as the day before, and it's connected to somebody else, and everything stays status quo because it's the same energy. And if it's the same energy, particles and reality, which is made up of frequency and energy, stays exactly the same. So I have an employee that has spent some time raising her children by herself. She has a 22-year-old daughter and an 18-year-old son, and she was divorced several years ago, and the last 2.5 years, she had received no child support for her children, and her ex-husband lost his job. She tried everything to get her ex-husband to pay child support for her children. And essentially, she was supporting her children by herself. She tried state agencies, she tried attorneys, she tried letters, she tried phone calls, emails. She even had her children call and plead with her father for some type of financial support. And we were in the seminar on one of my workshops, and she normally at times stands alongside me to make sure that when we get into a meditation, everybody's taken care of. But this particular group was very refined, so I said to her, why don't you sit down and do the meditation? And we were talking about being bonded emotionally to different people in our life, and we use those people to reaffirm an addiction that we have, and we think it's them that's creating our present state, but we're using them to keep our reality the same. And so she wrestled with this understanding, and she realized that as long as she was addicted to an emotion of survival, she was living as an ego that was selfish. And if she could liberate that energy and forgive and let go and no longer hold on to her relationship energetically the same way, she would free up energy, and there possibly would be another outcome that would surface. So in the meditation, she began to recognize the emotion, she surrendered it, she got clear she wasn't going to think certain ways, act certain ways, feel other feelings. She made the choice to release her husband and herself because those emotions of judgment and resentment and hatred were basically signaling the same genes that could actually cause her to get sick at some future time and keep reality the same. So she truly surrendered it, and when I glanced over at her in the middle of the meditation, she had this huge smile on her face, ear-to-ear smile. And I knew that she had released something. And when I asked her in the second half of the meditation, actually, when I asked the group to remind themselves who they did want to be and how they did want to live their life and to move into a new state of being. And a new state of being is a new personality. And a new personality creates a new personal reality. When they moved into that state of being, I said, now, as a quantum observer, what do you want? Come on, let those pictures come and observe destiny and allow those pictures to cause waves of probability to collapse into particles called an event or an experience in your life. And when she moved into this new state of being, she was no longer living by resentment and hatred and judgment. She was feeling joy and release and freedom. And she felt so great that she knew her focus was on abundance, but she didn't only want abundance for herself. She felt so great that she wanted abundance for everybody in the entire room. She went from being selfish to being selfless. She laid down the ego of being a somebody and became a nobody. And the moment she did that, she used that available energy to create a future destiny. Well, within 2 days, we finished the event on Sunday, and we drove home together. Within 2 days, her ex-husband sent her an email on that Tuesday morning saying that he was going to pay her the entirety of the child support money that he owed her, $11,000+, and he was going to deposit that money into her bank account that day. Now, she was so surprised by the experience, it came in such a way that she would least expect, that she says what everybody says when a new experience happens in her life. I don't believe this. Now that's a good sign, because all the emails that we get on the miracles that happen in people's lives always start out with the first sentence, "You're not going to believe this." When you get to that point where the event happens in an unexpected way, that's the normal response. And so she said, "I can't believe this." And within a very short amount of time, within that day, over $11,000 was deposited into her account. She no longer was connected to her ex-husband, her feeling judgment and resentment and hate, and him feeling guilt, shame, and unworthiness. She broke the bond of that emotional contract and liberated energy, and gave him permission energetically to do the right thing, and gave herself permission to no longer keep reality frozen as the day before. And that energy then reorganized itself into a new destiny, a whole new line of time.